What is going on, my beautiful LARPers and LARPettes? Today we're going to go over the Jacob Grey Hex 1911 or double stack 1911, 2011, whatever you decide to call these guns nowadays. I'm not going to be the judge. Call them what you like. But I'm going to go over what I like about it, what I don't like about it, how many rounds I have through it, how it's been performing, all that good YouTuber, gun-tuber stuff, right? But getting right into it, the barrel has a beautiful reverse crown right there that sits nice and flush on the front end of that muzzle. The barrel is a bull barrel chambered in 9mm. I always forget to tell you guys what caliber the guns are chambered in, but I'm assuming everybody's looking at 9mm guns for some reason. So I have to put that out there. It's chambered in 9mm. The barrel is titanium nitride coated in this rose gold. And to go a little bit off of the rose gold, I used to think that color was kind of, or this color here was kind of girly. I used to think, oh, anybody that has rose gold stuff is, a girl has to carry it. But now it's been growing on me where I think rose gold, us men have to take over that color and make it ours because I think it's pretty trick. I think it's, I don't know, it's just beautiful looking to me. And men should not be ashamed of carrying feminine colors. It's 2025, y'all. Now on that barrel, you have two ports right there that do directly cut into the slide itself. And those ports are kind of in this V pattern, right? They're on the left and the right. And I personally really like that. Just because there's a lot of gun companies out there that are coming out with that big chunk port, and they're coming out with ports like right in the middle here, behind the sight or in front of the sight, depending on however you want it. But they're more linear, right? It's either one in the front or some down the middle of the barrel. You hardly see them on the left and right anymore. The last time I really seen that was on the Glock 22s or Glock 20 or the Glock 17Cs or the 19Cs. The compensated models of the Glocks were notorious for having those V pattern ports, and when you shoot them at night, it'll look pretty cool. You got some big, beautiful V type flames coming out on the left and right. But I like that because it helps with the carbon fouling on the front sight. When I get a, sometimes when somebody puts ports on the back here, all that carbon that would come up shoots into that front sight, and it would make that foul up, and I would not be able to see that like nice orange-ish, I can't focus there, but you get what I'm saying. That orange or that red or whatever you have that's helping you see that front sight is fully carbon fouled, and you can't really see it anymore in the daytime. So these type of V pattern cuts, or these left and right cuts, I don't really know how to call those. I usually call them V pattern, but the way they're angled, it doesn't foul up that that front sight like the other ports would. Now also with those ports, they are functional. When I'm shooting this thing, it shoots pretty damn smooth. I could definitely feel it when I'm actually getting on the gun, when I'm actually cycling it, getting like 13 splits, 12 splits sometimes. I feel like I got like an 11 split on this thing. I'm able to shoot this thing extremely fast, and I'll get into the trigger in a second, but those ports help me stay on target, stay a little bit flatter. Now moving on to the rest of the slide, you're going to see like the top of this slide has this, usually it has a 45-degree cut here, just one 45-degree cut on other 2011s. And this one has like two 45-degree cuts, like kind of like a tri-cut. So you got 1, 2, and I'm assuming the top one you can count as a third, but I'm gonna call it hex cuts because this is the Jacob Grey Hex, right? These angles are very unique to this gun here. I hardly see them like this. I don't remember what gun I've seen them like this. I usually see the 145-degree cut on each side, or I'll see like them just rounded off completely. But really cool that they're doing that cut there. And also you got these serrations on the front and the rear, and they're kind of deceiving. So when I first saw this gun, I'm like, those cuts look a little just too flashy for my taste. You know, it looks like, that's more flashy than functionality. And then when you grab it, you're kind of like, oh, that's a little bit slippery. But then when you pull back on it, the way it's supposed to function, it's very grippy. So it's deceiving in the way where you don't think it's going to do any type of work when you're racking it, but it actually does. I don't get any slippage issues. I can grab it at the back easily, and I can get it every damn time when it comes down to racking that gun. So I do like that it's smooth when you're swiping your hand forward, but it's grippy when you're pulling your hand back. Now the Jacob Grey Hex does come optics ready. If the gun you buy, regardless whatever it is, if it does not come with an optic cut or optic ready slide, you spit on that gun, you send it back, you tell those boomers to cut your gun and give it back to you for free, because anybody who doesn't do that is living in the past right now. And the Jacob Grey Hex comes with a pretty nice optic plate system. I don't really like the fact that this plate system here is integrated with the rear sight. I don't know. People like it, some people don't, but I personally like my iron sights to stay on the gun. But I do like the way they did this one. So they give you optic plates. They give you like a couple of them. I forgot how many they give you, but this was the RMR cut one here, and it does come with a rear optic, a rear iron sight on the plate. I don't know why I couldn't spit that out. But the rear blacked out iron sight on this plate here is a nice touch, just because I always prefer a blacked out rear sight. But those of you that probably want to keep like a tritium rear sight or something like that would probably want to swap it out yourself, and you don't have that option on this one. You're just stuck with the blacked out rear. Not sure how much of a deal breaker that is for you, but for me, it's not really a deal breaker, but I just like to have the option of switching stuff around and not being stuck with something. Now moving on to the frame here, this is made from a aircraft grade 7075 aluminum, and also has a mil-spec hardcoat anodize on there that's anodized to this like FDE, like super cool color. And also the grip as well is made from the same material and colored the same to match the whole lower portion part of the gun here. The front end has a nice long 1913 or accessory rail, so you can light your laser, you can mount your lasers or your lights, or just have it like this if you wanted to. And if you see here, they matched that bottom frame with the top of that slide there. This is to me a unique cut for Jacob Grey firearms. I don't really see this cut here on many 2011s or 1911s. So if you see, like, it's kind of like an indented or like a divot or a tapered cut on the end there, I don't see that a whole lot on other guns. So every time I see a Jacob Grey gun from a distance, I automatically know it's a Jacob Grey gun from that front end cut there. If they don't have that patented, I think they should, because again, that's, to me, it's unique to their guns. If you've seen other guns like that out there, let me know if I'm wrong, but I only really see that on Jacob Grey guns. Now moving on to the grip. The grip, again, the reason for the whole name of this gun is having to do with this grip as well. It's the hex all over the grip. It is an aluminum grip, and it is very tactile. It's very grippy, but not to the point where it's going to cut you up or anything like that. I'm looking for certain sharp edges or something like that, and honestly, I don't feel any type of sharpness on here. Maybe I just have rough hands, but yeah, I get the grippiness where I need it to. So like right here, I don't know if I can get you a certain angle, but right there, you can see like those little points right there, little nipples basically on the hex portions. Those are protruding a little bit more, where it's super grippy at that section. But once you get to the back of it, it's smooth. So if you're gonna conceal carry this, that portion of the grip up front is gonna be super grippy for you, but this portion right here is not going to chafe your stomach. I'm gaining a little bit of dad bod weight, so this portion right here does not chafe me. If they had that grippiness from right here all over it, then yeah, it'll cut me up pretty bad. But this one, I think they put the grippiness where it needs to be. If anything, I feel like they could have done away with this front portion right here and just put the hex all the way through and just give me grippiness all right here. But Again, it's nothing too crazy where I'm gonna be like, ah, yeah, this gun is slipping out of my hand and I'm not able to shoot it right. Now you got a pin grip safety right here. A lot of people like running their guns like this. I don't really have an issue with grip safety just being out, but it's cool that they just offer it with a pin grip safety. So that way, if you guys are out there that want to pin them and don't want to do the gunsmithing yourself to pin it down, it's already pinned down for you. You don't have that issue when it comes down to engaging that grip safety. You have a nice double undercut right here, and then you also have your mag release button here, a little tapered portion here, so that way if you're going to reload, your finger goes into that little divot so you can push that mag release a little bit easier. And then on the bottom here, you got a little bit of a flared mag well. I probably would want maybe just a little bit more of a flared magwell. I don't know if Jacob Grey makes in a magwell extension that I can put over this, but I don't know. I just like to have my magwells a little bit bigger so it feels like I'm kind of throwing a hot dog down a hallway. You have a skeletonized hammer, a nice ambidextrous safety there, manual safety. Then you have a textured slide release right there. Pretty standard parts all the way around as far as that goes. And then getting into the trigger is one of the highlights that I like about this gun. They tuned this trigger absolutely perfect for me. When I told them that I wanted something that's like 3.5 pounds, they got it right on the money, and it's extremely easy to get fast splits on this thing. You have good texturing on the front there. Hopefully you can see it. You got some good texturing on the front there. And then you also got that hex pattern cut out on the trigger as well. Again, Jacob Grey Hex, hex grips, hex trigger, I guess hex cuts on the top of that slide. But check out this trigger, guys. Check out how soft or how easy. So you got that little bit of take up there. Right there's the wall. Break. Let me do that again for you with the reset on here. You got a reset. Right there. Break. Let me do that again. It was a little awkward in that position, so right here. Reset. Break. Reset. Break. Super nice trigger on this gun. I really enjoy shooting this gun with that trigger. Again, with that trigger in conjunction with the ports on the top, I'm able to keep that gun super flat and on target. And splits get chicks, right? So keep that up. Now that pretty much does it for the Jacob Grey Hex and the features that it has on it. Let me go over the downsides on it, right? So to me, it's more, I guess ergonomics wise, it's a little bit of downside. So even though I like the grip a lot, I have fatty knuckles, and this part right here tends to be a little too hard for me. Right when I'm shooting this thing, if I'm really getting into it, if I'm really shooting it a lot, I'll start to dig into my knuckle here, and I'll kind of start to feel like I'm getting like a good old Glock knuckle. So I would feel like this should have been rounded off just a tad bit more. Not really complaining about these edges over here. These don't really bother me. Front here, I think it is lacking some texturing. Usually high-end 2011s or something like that would come with some nice checkering up front here. A lot of people like to put their finger up front. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. I just like to have that option instead of having something slippery up front there. So it would have been a nice touch to have that up front, but nothing that's a deal breaker. This one here is kind of more of the deal breaker for me, where I would want a little bit of more rounding off, a little bit more polishing and rounding right there. On the back, maybe just a little bit more blending from the safety to the rear tang here. Again, I've built up quite a bit of callus over the years, not as much as other people, but it's not bad to the point where I'm bleeding there, but I can definitely feel a little bit of not sharpness where it's going to cut you, but I just think it should have been a tiny bit more rounded here. Again, not a deal breaker where I'm going to be bitching and moaning about it, but something that out of a high-end 2011 I would like to see just a little bit of touch-ups, right? Other than that, the gun has been running phenomenal for me. No malfunction, but granted, I have been cleaning it off just because this does get fouled up pretty fast. I do maybe shoot like 400 rounds, couple hundred rounds, it gets fouled up and I'll kind of clean that off. I haven't cleaned anything internally, but I have cleaned this off here a couple of times just because it gets a little bit more fouled up. You can see right there, that's probably after about like maybe 400 or something rounds, 500 rounds. But I think I'm hitting around like 1,500 to, or yeah, like 15 to 2,000 rounds on this gun. I kind of lost track. Again, I was having too much fun where I was keeping track on this and forgot, oh crap, I'm supposed to actually be testing this gun. But I usually go out in 500 round increments and go and play with it and stuff like that. So I feel like I'm around 500 rounds, 1,500 rounds or something like that. But so far it's been working great. No malfunction on my end as far as this gun goes. But again, when it comes to a manufacturer that's manufacturing new products like these 2011s here, I want to go upwards of like the 5,000 rounds range to actually say like, hey, this gun is shooting with no malfunctions whatsoever. And especially when it comes to 2011s, because they're a little bit more finicky when it comes to having a high round count on them and not cleaning them and stuff. So I'm kind of taking this 1,500 to 2,000 rounds lightly just because I have been cleaning it off a little bit here and there. So again, I want to give you guys a more in-depth detailed test review for this. This is kind of just an overview for me, but so far it's been running good. I really love a lot of the features on this gun. There are a couple quirks that I don't like about it, but overall I think this is an awesome gun. But that pretty much does it for the Jacob Grey Hex, guys. What do you guys think about a gun of this caliber, pun intended? Do you think it's worth it for the price tag? The price tag is a little high up there, but I want to break it down a little bit more simplistically, right? So if you're going out, and I guess the staccato is kind of like the staple when it comes down to 2011s. I mean, they own the 2011 patent, so, or the 2011 name, not the patent, but it's copyrighted, right? So when it comes to a 2011 and you're spending it on like a staccato, not knocking staccato, I love staccatos. I have numerous amount of staccatos here. But when you go out and you buy a $2,300, $2,500 staccato, and then you're saying, I want to go out and put a port on it, or put ports into it, and get it Cerakoted, get it anodized, get an aluminum trigger, get a grip. These grips aren't cheap, guys. Even the most basic grip is probably like 500 bucks or something like that, 400 bucks. So you're getting up there when it comes down to prices. So if you were to say this was a staccato frame and get a grip, an aluminum trigger, get the ports cut out, you're probably around the price tag of this one here. And just to show you, this one here costs way more than that one, and it still has a plastic grip. Not knocking this gun, it's just look at that laser work. Look at all that Gucci-ness, you know? Nothing wrong with having an expensive gun like this that doesn't have that metal grip, but it's just something that you like, right? So if you're going out there and you're buying a gun to then upgrade it, but then you're kind of seeing this gun and you're like, that's too expensive, it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense that somebody would think this is expensive when they're seeing guns come from a lower end, well, not lower end from staccato, but you get what I'm saying, coming from a cheaper version of this, then upgrading it up to the point where it's getting to almost this here. You just don't have that staccato name, you have the Jacob Grey name, which, again, not telling you to go out and buy this. There's other options out there. There's everybody and their mothers making 2011s nowadays, but just saying that when you kind of get yourself wrapped around price, I'm trying to see what if this was like a $5,000, $6,000 gun, yeah, you're kind of like, okay, that's different, uncharted territory. But when it comes to now to this price here, this is like 3,300 bucks, 3,400 bucks, somewhere around there. You're not really too off from an upgraded staccato. But again, guys, like I say in every video, it's your money. You can do whatever the hell you want with it. I'm not gonna force you to buy this or staccato or any other gun. I just wanna show you some options that are out there. And when there's people talking and bitching about prices, really look at what it takes to make a gun like this or to upgrade a staccato. Like, don't just follow the, oh, that gun's just overpriced. Like, actually look into it. And I'm not like trying to glaze this company here and say this is the best affordable gun. I think it's still a little bit on the higher end of the price, but at the same time, I don't think it's too far off from a person that wants to get a gun of this caliber or this criteria if they were going to build it themselves, if that kind of makes sense. But overall, looking forward to keep testing this gun and running it through its paces. Look at other reviews. Don't just take my review for what it is. I want you guys to do your own research. This gun to me has been performing well, but I want to get more rounds down range to actually say this is, hey, this gun is a extremely reliable gun. No issues so far, like I said, but I just want to put it through its paces. And what do you guys think about the Jacob Grey Hex? Do you guys want to pick one up? Do you guys own some of their previous models? And they also came out with a newer model, the compensated model of this gun here. It's kind of like the craze, right? You're making a ported 2011, and that one looks pretty sweet. But again, you've been looking at Jacob Grey guns. What do you think about them? What is your opinion on them in the comments down below? I appreciate you all. Love you all. Thank you so much.